What would happen if you took someone like King Von and placed him in a world like Resident Evil? A world full of bioterrorism, zombies, and mutated monsters. Because King Von lived an insane life and has probably seen more fatalities than a military war general. So the real question is, could he survive? So if we actually break King Von down like a character, his stats are pretty solid. Like his awareness is high, his aggression is high, but that might actually be the problem. And by the end of this video, we're gonna try to figure out if King Von survives or if he gets the same fate as this. So King Von was one of the most notorious and sinister figures in the Chicago drill scene, and was also raised in arguably the most dangerous area in Chicago, O Block. And he's also estimated to have a kill count of at least 10 confirmed victims. It's also documented in police reports that Von caught his first body around the age of 16 or 17 and developed a bloodlust from there on out. He was then pushed further into madness when his best friend was gunned down outside of a convenience store, forcing Von to watch his friend lose his life right in front of him. Something snapped inside of Von that day, and from that moment on, he swore vengeance on his friend's killers and any other ops he would gain on his path of destruction. Alright, now that we have that out the way, it's time to discuss which Resident Evil games he would actually be placed in. So since there's over like 30 Resident Evil games, I just chose my top 5 favorite picks for this video. We're putting him through all 5 scenarios. So the picks are Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, and finally, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Each one gets worse, each one tests something different. And by the end of this video, we'll know if he actually makes it out. Let's go. Alright, so let's actually think about this for a sec. If you drop Von into Resident Evil 2, he's gonna be spawning into Raccoon City with no context while everything is already going left. And in this game, not only are there zombies everywhere, but you've also got tight spaces, locked doors, puzzles you gotta solve, and you're also really limited on ammo. Like, you can't just shoot everything and keep moving. So for someone like Von, his sense of awareness is actually gonna help him out pretty early. He's not just gonna walk into the danger blindly.
I am the danger.
He's gonna notice something's off right away. But the problem is, Von is used to dealing with O Block level ops, and nothing in this world behaves like a real person. So he might be a little out of his depth here. Like the zombies in this game, they're slow, but they don't stop. And they take way more hits than you'd expect. So now you've got this situation where, yeah, you can fight them, but you're not really supposed to. And that's where Von's character starts getting tested too, because his instincts is to confront problems directly, not avoid them. So early on, he probably handles himself fine, but the more he fights, the more he would start running out of ammo, and that's when the game flips on you. Because now you still have the same threats, but less resources to deal with them. Then you got the police station, and this is where things start to get a little bit annoying. It's basically a maze. Like, you've got to find keys, solve puzzles, and go back through the same hallways over and over again. And the enemies, they don't just disappear, they're still there. So every time you go back through an area, it's still dangerous. And then you run into stuff like the lickers. Like, these things are blind, but they hear everything. So now you actually have to slow down and walk quietly. And for Von, that's not really how he moves. He's more direct, so if they hear him, they're on his ass instantly. And then the real problem shows up. This nigga, Mr. X. And this is where the game changes completely, because now you've got something that's actively tracking you. Like, you hear his footsteps and you know he's somewhere in the building. And you can't kill him either or fight him. Like, you just have to avoid him. Because now it's not just about handling the situation, it's about not engaging at all. And if he tries to stand his ground, he'd just be wasting ammo and putting himself in a worse position. So now you've got all this stacking up. Limited ammo, tight spaces, enemies that don't stop, this big ass mother chasing you, and mentally that starts wearing on you a little bit. Because you're not in control. All you can really do is try to survive moment to moment. But if we're being real, I think Von makes it out of Resident Evil 2. But not because he's dominating it, but just because he adapts well enough to not die. And that's the difference with this game. It's more survival based than winning. All right, now let's take that same situation and make it worse. Resident Evil 3 is basically Resident Evil 2, but with way more pressure. Like, at least in Resident Evil 2, you can like slow down, think, and catch your breath a little bit. In RE3, you don't really get that. Like, this game is constantly pushing you forward. And the main reason for that is Nemesis. This is nothing like Mr. X, where he's just walking around the building and you hear him coming. Nemesis is way more aggressive. Like, he can run and jump, and he shows up out of nowhere. And also, he doesn't just follow you, he's actively hunting you. Like, it feels personal. For someone like Von, this actually plays into his strengths. because his whole mentality is built around pressure. Like, he's very impulsive and a quick decision maker, so early on he'd probably be moving well and dodging, just staying alive pretty much. The problem with that is Nemesis doesn't get tired, and that's where this starts to shift, because now it's not just about reacting to danger, it's about how long can he keep reacting over time. You've got enemies coming at you, you've got explosions, you've got moments where everything just goes left instantly, and you don't really get a chance to reset mentally. And this is where Vaughn's aggression starts becoming a problem again, because there are moments in the game where you could try to fight Nemesis, but it's risky, and most of the time it's not even worth it. The smarter play is to keep moving and create distance and just try to survive the encounter. But if Vaughn's instinct is to stand his ground or push back, he's just putting himself in a worse scenario. And then you add in everything else going on. You're still dealing with limited ammo, still dealing with enemies around you, but now you're also dealing with something that's constantly on your ass. Like, you could be doing everything right in this game and Nemesis just shows up out of nowhere and forces you to react immediately. That kind of unpredictability is what starts wearing him down, because in his world, pressure exists, but it's usually coming from something that he expects. Like the regular ops he'd encounter on 63rd.
Not from 63rd.
But in this game, the pressure is constant and random, like there's no pattern recognition at all. So mentally, this is where fatigue starts kicking in, like he'd be exhausted. But I still think he makes it through Resident Evil 3. But this is where you start seeing cracks. Like, he's not as efficient and he's definitely more worn down by the end of it. And RE3 is the first time you really feel like things are starting to catch up to him. Alright, so Resident Evil 4, Vaughn actually has a higher chance of survival in this game than he did in the other ones. Because now you've got other weapons and more ammo than RE2 or 3, and more options overall. So he's not as restricted here, like he can actually fight back more without immediately putting himself at risk. And this plays into his aggression in a better way. Instead of being punished for engaging, he can actually use it to survive. So this is probably his strongest performance so far. And up until now, he's been dealing with zombies and things of that nature, like stuff you can easily adapt to, but RE4 throws all of that out the window, because now the enemies can actually think. These aren't mindless zombies anymore. Now you've got to deal with villagers and cultists, like all of them. They cut off your escapes, they use weapons. They're honestly annoying as f, but it's way more coordinated. So for someone like Vaughn, this is actually where things get pretty interesting. Because now it's not just about surviving, it's about reading people again. And that's something he's good at. He's used to dealing with real threats and people making decisions in the moment. So in a weird way, this is actually the first time the world starts making sense again, just in a more twisted form. So early on in RE4, I think he actually does better than expected. But the problem is, these enemies aren't fully human either. Like, they still do things that don't make sense. They'll take damage and keep coming back. They can mutate. They'll turn into something completely different mid-fight. So now you've got this weird middle ground where his instincts help him, but they're not enough to fully understand what's happening. And this is where Vaughn's adaptability really gets tested. And honestly, that's the strongest skill to have in RE4. Because you could clear one wave and another comes. You think you understand how something works, and then it evolves. And the boss fights get more unpredictable. It's crazy. But overall, I still think he makes it through Resident Evil 4. But his struggles come from how fast everything keeps changing. And that's gonna matter a lot going into the next one. Alright, now Resident Evil 5. This is where things finally start catching up to him. Like, the pressure in this game is non-stop, because now you're dealing with the Mangini, not zombies. They move fast, they have guns and other weapons, they rush you in groups, kind of like the villagers but on steroids. And the biggest problem for Vaughn is he's alone. Like, this game is built for 2 players, meaning someone's supposed to be covering your back and picking off enemies when you get surrounded. And Vaughn doesn't have that. So every angle is on him and every mistake hits harder. And then you got this big ass nigga, the Executioner. Like, he's big, but he's slow, so it's easy to evade. And at first, I still think he holds his own. Like, he's still King Vaughn, come on. Like, his aggression is definitely encouraged in this game. Like, it's direct combat and he can fight back. But it doesn't stop. In this game, you clear one group and another comes right behind you. You try to reload a gun and you're getting rushed. There's no breaks in this game. And because he's solo, that pressure builds faster. So now he has to rely on his endurance. And this is where he starts slipping. Like, with no partner to balance things out, everything just gets worse from here on out. Every fight is going to take a toll on him, and by the time he gets deeper into the game, he's going to be completely worn down. And then you add Wesker into the mix. Like, Wesker doesn't fight like anything Vaughn's seen. Like, he disappears, he can reappear, he moves faster than you can react. And now, this is the first time that Vaughn isn't the most dangerous person in the room. And this is where everything catches up to him. Because at full strength, he might last longer, but he's not at full strength. He's low on resources, he's already taken damage, and he's already been fighting non-stop. So when he fights Wesker, he won't be able to keep up. Like, his reactions will be a step behind. And in a fight like this, that's all it takes. Like, he'll get decimated in this fight. And without a partner to take the pressure off of him, he's done. So does Vaughn survive Resident Evil 5? No. Because honestly, by the time he reaches Wesker, he won't have anything left to give. Alright, so Resident Evil 7 kind of takes a step back from all the fast-paced mayhem we've been used to up until this point, and kind of goes back to its roots of being survival-based. This game takes place in an extremely looking-ass house in bum Louisiana, and it's kind of like an exploration-based game with a lot of analog horror as well. There's VHS tapes scattered everywhere throughout the entire game, with certain characters from the game giving you hints and revealing secret passageways to progress the story. So, since the only reason why the protagonist is here in the first place is to find his missing wife Mia, who he does not know is infected with a hyper-evolved fungus known as mold, we're gonna pretend that Vaughn had a wife named Mia and yeah, I don't know, just go with it. So in this game, Vaughn has to deal with not only his infected wife, who's constantly trying to kill him in the beginning and cut off his hand with a chainsaw, but he also has to deal with the entire Baker family, who are almost impossible to be killed due to the mold they're infected by, giving them regenerative abilities, all while trying to find a cure for his wife and Zoe Baker. And for some reason, Zoe isn't completely taken over by the mold the same way everybody else is, and she actually helps throughout the game, so yeah. And each family member stands alone as their own boss battle, so it's a pretty situation. But it wouldn't be a Resident Evil game if you weren't constantly being hunted. So in this scenario, Vaughn will be forced to play a relentless game of Duck Duck Goose with Jack Baker throughout the entire first section of the game, while he also tries to find an escape. And you can't really kill Jack Baker. I mean, you hit him with a car and then he shoots himself right after, so I mean, that part's off the table. But the chase eventually comes to a head when you do a little chainsaw battle with him in this creepy ass murder lair. And I would theorize, out of pure desperation and necessity, King Vaughn would learn the mechanics to the chainsaw and go toe-to-toe with Jack Baker and eventually kill him. Now with Evelyn Baker's section, hers might be a little more annoying for Vaughn simply because the mold gave her the ability to have like this weird connection with all the bugs in the swamp, and she uses that to her advantage anytime you encounter her. And her section is kind of twisted too, like figuratively and literally, because she can also contort her body into the shape of what I can only describe as a daddy long leg on crack. But her boss fight is a little easier than Jack's, because all Vaughn would really have to do is shoot the hive she grew on her her lady parts until she dissolves. But the real challenge would come with Lucas Baker. His section is literally ripped from the Saw movies. Now Vaughn will be trapped in a room and forced to solve these annoying ass puzzles to light a birthday candle. But what makes his section feel so hopeless is Vaughn would literally be playing by Lucas's rules, and this might be the one and only time in this game where Vaughn would feel extremely powerless. But just when you think you're about to win, Lucas vanishes, like into thin air, like he's gone. Alright, so fast forward, Jack comes back. He's not really dead, because of course he's not. Now he's like this big mutated monster, and the only way to kill him is by curing him, but now Vaughn would only be left with one cure. And since he's only here for his wife, Vaughn would kind of have to kick Zoe to the curb. Sorry, Zoe. So fast forward some more. Oh, Evelyn, the girl, that's the reason for everyone's infection. She kind of comes in as the final boss fight of the game and like mutates into this big ass venom tree bark looking and you have to shoot her, and it's this whole thing. And I mean, Vaughn made it this far, and I feel like he'd make it out alive at this point. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. King Vaughn was one of the most elite demons in Chirac, and placing him into the Resident Evil world would be a crazy ass scenario. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe for your boy, you know? And let me know what other videos you want me to do or musicians you want me to talk about. I read all my comments. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.